going to look at this dealing with the eccentric control of heart activity. Now, this is what we call the parasympathetic nervous system. Now, we're going to look at what the responsibilities are, what happens with eccentric control of heart activities. First thing we want to look at is that it reaches heart by the vagus nerve. This is what we call the cranial nerve X. Now, then the impulses are carried to the SA, the AV node. And cells